Welcome back to the Rides and Tides Newsflash, where we aim to give you weekly, up-to-date news on everything Universal, all-inclusive resorts, and cruising. On the agenda for today, we have some magical changes coming to CityWalk in Universal Orlando, tantalizing updates regarding Royal Caribbean's Ultimate World Cruise, and the rippling effects of the Baltimore Bridge collapse. But before we get going, I'd like to take a second to ask you if you find this video useful or entertaining in any way. Please leave us a like and a subscribe. It would really mean a lot to us. Alright, first up on our list we have a couple of closures coming to CityWalk. Cinnabon and the Quiet Flight Surf Shop are both closing down this month. April 14th will be the last day of operation for the Quiet Flight Surf Shop, and on April 28th, Cinnabon will be closing down as well. I really will be sad to see the Quiet Flight Surf Shop go. My wife and I have shopped in there multiple times. That's where I bought my first pair of Ray-Bans. But if the rumors that we are hearing are true, I think that this could be a great change for CityWalk. As of right now, the scuttlebutt is that the Cinnabon will be getting replaced by a Butterbeer Bar. That way guests, without having to go into the parks, can have all of the Wizarding World beverages. This is going to be really cool. If this is true, I think this will be a really nice addition to the nightlife scene. And as for the rumored replacement for the Quiet Flight Surf Shop, we are currently hearing that that is going to be a Nintendo store, which, if we think back to the other rumors that we've heard regarding the last continent, I think that makes sense. I really think that they'll go and they'll turn the last continent into a Zelda-based land, and then we'll have this Nintendo store to really just boost revenue for them. One last bit of news pertaining to Universal Orlando is that if you are driving to the parks, you are now going to have to pay $32 to park, whereas it used to be $30. Next up on the list, we have a massive itinerary change for the Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise. For those that are unaware, in December of 2023, Royal Caribbean launched their first Ultimate World Cruise. It is a 274-night cruise that departed from Miami, Florida, and it was planned to visit all 7 continents, 65 countries, over 150 different ports of call, and 11 world wonders. However, with rising tensions over in the Red Sea, Royal Caribbean was left with no other option but to change the itinerary. Something very cool about this itinerary change, though, is, as far as I know, it's a first. Royal Caribbean actually presented 2 different itinerary options to its guest, and the guest actually got to submit whichever one they wanted to do, and majority rules, that's what they did. The first option was an Immersive Africa route that would visit ports in 11 different nations and territories in Africa, compared to an Africa and Greece itinerary that had fewer port visits in Africa, but included more extensive exploration of the Greek islands. Ultimately, the guests chose the first option, and they will be embarking on their first leg of the trip in May. To wrap things up, I wanted to touch base on some of the effects that the Baltimore Bridge collapse was having on the cruising industry. In case you were unaware, on March 26th, a container ship ran into the Francis Scott Bridge in Baltimore, and it collapsed. The bridge fell down. I'll show a snippet up on the screen while we talk about the effects it's having on the cruising industry. This event has led to the Port of Baltimore closing for an unknown amount of time. Being the 29th largest cruise port in the U.S., both Carnival Cruise Lines and Royal Caribbean are having to rehome a couple of their ships. The Carnival Legend and the Royal Caribbean Vision of the Seas will be moving to a different port of call due to these events. Well, that's all the news I have for you this week, but be on the lookout because we should have another Rides and Tides Newsflash coming up next week. And in addition to that, we should have a Royal Caribbean Wonder of the Seas overview. So, we'll see you next time.